Vrabel versus Stefanski. Plenty of big NFL storylines as well. And on the line is Odyssey NFL insider Ross Tucker. Insider Calls brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance needs and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side. And Ross Tucker's on your radio on the Fan Hotline right now. Ross, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. How are you? I appreciate the flexibility. I'm about to fly out to L.A. to call Vikings Chargers tomorrow night for Westwood One on the radio, so I will be in the air when we normally talk at 4. I think it's so interesting. I did the Bengals and Steelers last Thursday night, so I had a whole vision of what this interview today was going to be like during that game, after the game, seeing some of the clips from Cleveland the day after that game, and then the Browns went out and curb stomped the Dolphins. Mm-hmm. So now, I really don't know what to expect from this interview. I thought it was going to go one way, but then did the Browns shut you guys up or no?
No, we'll get into football.
Ross, are the Patriots really as good as their record suggests they are?
I think they might be. And I think they might be primarily because of just how good Drake Maye is. I mean, he is. I saw a lot of flashes last year, and I was thoroughly impressed. I called 2 games last year for one was CBS, one was NFL Network, and he was excellent in those games. I mean, really good, I thought, for a rookie, but they had nobody around him. And then now that they got a little bit more people around him, new coaching staff, I mean, there's a lot of metrics out there that will tell you he's been the best quarterback in football so far this season. I'm not ready to go there, but the point is he's been really, really, really good.
Ross, Garrett Wilson rumors continue. How much would this change your viewpoint of where the Browns are at if they're players, and should they be players in the Garrett Wilson sweepstakes?
What year is this for him? How many years are left of his contract?
Oh, he just signed a contract extension, so I think he's got 3 or 4 left.
Oh, he just did get the extension.
Yeah. And the trade is actually doable with everything and the cap ramifications. It'd be fine. You could clear it.
Yeah, I would strongly consider that if I'm the Browns. I mean, because I know what you guys are going to say is, look what Flacco did with the Bengals. Why can't you do it with the Browns? And what I was going to tell you is, have you seen Jamar Chase play football? Or have you seen, even to a lesser extent, T. Higgins? Like, I would take T. Higgins over Jerry Jeudy any day of the week. So that's 2 Bengals receivers I'd rather have than the Browns' best receiver. I think that's a problem. You're going to have a young quarterback one way or the other. I think it'd really be nice if you had a truly high-end receiver. Jeudy is not that. I don't know that he's ever been that. I know there's some statistical years where he's been pretty good, but I would feel much better about Garrett Wilson than I would Jerry Jeudy moving forward.
Ross, this obviously is a matchup of a guy who used to work on the Browns staff, Mike Vrabel, and then the guy who still heads the staff now, Kevin Stefanski. They're both thought of to be 2 of the better coaches in the NFL. Who would you rather have as NFL head coach, Mike Vrabel or Kevin Stefanski?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think it probably depends on what you're looking for and who. Like, if the answer is Vrabel, I got to know who the offensive coordinator is. And on some level, if the answer is Stefanski, I got to know who the defensive coordinator is. And I think Stefanski did a really good job having Jim Schwartz as his D coordinator. And I think Vrabel's done a really good job getting Josh McDaniels. But that's such an important ingredient. I mean, McDaniels is the biggest reason why Drake Maye's playing this well, which is the biggest reason why the Patriots are actually good. And then for the Browns, Schwartz has had a major impact on the positive games they've had, the positive seasons they've had in recent years. And so you got to give Stefanski credit for that. I think most teams would tell you, or most owners would rather have Stefanski than Vrabel. And I think there's a couple of reasons for that. One is Vrabel's personality is not for everybody. And secondly, the concern you have if Vrabel is your head coach typically is that He's not an offensive mind. He's not going to call the offensive plays. So if you have success with him as your head coach, that probably means you're moving the ball, scoring points, probably means your offensive coordinator is going to get a head coaching job elsewhere, which is not what you want. Now, that's not going to happen with Josh McDaniels because he's not going to get a third chance. So that kind of mutes that, or makes that moot, whatever. But, yeah, that's the answer. Really, really good question. Really close.
Nice. Shedeur is not going to get any reps with the starters in practice. That's what Stefanski came out and said today. All those reps are going to go to Dillon Gabriel. He did acknowledge that Gabriel got starting reps when Flacco was the starter here. Is that the right approach with how he should be handling this?
Yes, it is. Give Dillon Gabriel every rep he can possibly get, every chance to be successful. And then when you decide, if you decide that you've seen enough, then give Shedeur Sanders every rep possible, every chance to be successful. You know, I think it goes both ways. When Shedeur gets his opportunity, which I still suspect that he will, I don't think you want to take away any of his reps. I think you want him to see, especially him, to see everything as much as he can.
Ross, we've had, I would say, disagreements on how we evaluate or maybe what we expect out of Dillon Gabriel. And it's been interesting. It's going to have these conversations 3 weeks in. And we also yet had Terry Bradshaw say he thinks Dillon Gabriel is going to be a star. So if I gave you 4 designations to label where you think Dillon Gabriel will land on the quarterback spectrum, star, system quarterback, starter, backup, or roster filler, where are you leaning after 3 games with Dillon Gabriel?
I'm going to put him right now in the 28 to 40 category, which means if he's your starter, you would probably, like low-end starter, high-end backup. If he's your starter, you would probably hope to have somebody better. If he's your backup, you'd be thrilled. That's my guess right now.
How long do you think he's going to be able to be the starter here for the Browns? Is it just as long as they win games like they did on Sunday, where, I mean, it's a 25-point win, he didn't turn the ball over? Is that just the recipe, or at some point is Stefanski going to demand more?
No, I mean, as long as they're winning and he's showing progress, I would suspect they'll leave him in there. The really interesting question is, how much does he have to do so that they don't draft somebody next year? That's fascinating. So there's 2 questions. Question 1 is, how much do they have to do to stay in there and then not see what Shedeur has? Is question 1. And question 2 is, if he does enough to fend off Shedeur for the whole year, is that enough where they don't draft somebody next year? You guys have some good topics compared to other cities.
Doesn't always feel great. Ross, looking to other NFL cities, Woody Johnson didn't have the best thing to say about the offense and Justin Fields this week at the owners' meetings. Thoughts on the Woody Johnson-Justin Fields bus toss that happened this week?
Yeah, I just don't understand why you would do that. I think he thought that he was defending his head coach, Aaron Glenn, but it seems pretty unnecessary for him to have handled it the way he did. And now I see these reports that Tyrod Taylor is questionable with a day-to-day with a knee injury. So now they might have to start the guy that the owner just said can't complete a pass. I mean, you can't make this stuff up sometimes if you tried.
It felt like we saw Russ broke character on the internet yesterday. What do you make of the idea that him and Sean Payton are now just trading barbs publicly?
Well, I think Payton was clearly taking a dig at him, but it was kind of a subtle one. But obviously it really, really triggered Russell Wilson because he totally escalated it to another level. And I think out of character is a great way to describe it. You don't expect that from him.
All right, Ross, one more. This weekend we had a gluttony of just ridiculous defensive pass interference calls that altered games. And I think one of the narratives on social media is we've reached a point where we're calling pass interference on either side of the ball too much. Do you think we're too tight with calling pass interference in the NFL right now?
Yes, I do. I think we're too tight with calling everything. If I was commissioner for a day, I would get on the call with all these guys and say, guys, when in doubt, don't throw the flag. That would be my number one messaging to all the officials. When in doubt, don't throw it. Nobody wants more flags. Now, if it's your team and you think the guy got interfered with, you want them to throw it. But if they're consistently only throwing it when it's really obvious, then you can live with that as long as it's even both ways. That would be my I see some of these illegal contacts that get called, some of these holds away from the play. It drives me nuts.
Ross, we know you got a boogie, buddy. We appreciate you. Can't wait to hear you on the call of Vikings-Chargers on Westwood One tomorrow night. You're great as always, buddy. Appreciate you.
All right, thanks, guys. See you.
Later.
Later, dude.
Oh, he saved it.